If we talk about food, is there anything more American than an apple pie? If we talk about cars, is there anything more American than a Ford or a Chevrolet? And if we talk about sports, is there anything more American than baseball or American football? Out of all the sports, some might consider soccer to be the least American sport of them all. Some would even say that the United States hates soccer. But why do fellow Americans hate soccer? It's interesting because the game of soccer is actually several thousands of years old. Ancient Chinese, Japanese, and Mesoamerican cultures all had their own version of games involving kicking the ball. Fast forward to our modern times and you will find that soccer is a global phenomenon. Soccer, or more commonly known as football or football, is considered to be the world's most popular sport with over 3.5 billion fans. With such a rich history and fan base, you can't help but wonder why the United States doesn't have the same love for the sport. After doing some deep thinking in my own research, I have identified a few reasons why the United States hates soccer. The first reason why the United States hates soccer is because of the lack of excitement. This seemed to be the most common complaint about soccer that I saw on the internet. So, a typical game of basketball is played for a total of 48 minutes with 4 12-minute quarters. A typical game of American football is played for an hour with 15-minute quarters. But a game of soccer is played for 90 minutes with 2 45-minute halves. That's almost 2 whole hours of gameplay. And what do you guys think would be the most exciting moment in any sports game? I'm sure we can all agree that the ultimate excitement in all of these sports would be scoring and winning games. We've all seen how crazy and hyped the fans get when they see their favorite team score the winning touchdown or their favorite baseball player hit an important home run. Perhaps you're one of those types of supporters who gets hyped when they see their favorite soccer team score. What the viewers of any sport want is a clear winner. And in the game of soccer, there are fewer goals and the dreadful potential of ties. Now, imagine attending a 90-minute soccer game and both teams end the game in a tie. Although it is better than your favorite team losing, it's still not as exciting as winning and seeing goals scored. Maybe it's the large fields that make it seem like a soccer game is dominated by running and positioning. We also have to take into consideration the infrequent resets that can happen during a soccer game. In the game of soccer, the ball will stop rolling during offsides, free kicks, throw-ins, and sometimes injuries. Soccer players are infamous for flopping and faking injuries. And unlike other more American sports, the soccer game clock does not stop during these events. For example, in American football, the game clock stops for incomplete passes, out-of-bound plays, and in timeouts. In basketball, the game clock stops for free throws and timeouts. In a soccer game, the clock will continuously run even during stoppages for injuries, substitutions, and goal celebrations unless there is an unforeseen event or bad weather. The referee might decide to add an extra few minutes at the end of each half to compensate for the lost time. All the infrequent resets in soccer can mess with the flow of the players and the flow of the game. Time moves fast when you're having fun. So when the game is constantly being stopped and your favorite team isn't winning or scoring, time seems to move slow because that is no fun. It's no wonder Americans get bored watching soccer and would rather hop in and play the game than be the bored spectator. Shit, tell them to pass me the ball, coach. I bet I can make a goal. The second reason why the United States hates soccer is because of youth access issues. Upon doing my own research through different internet articles, forums, and social media posts/comments, I saw that youth access issues have impacted many young soccer players growing up in the United States of America. It's a pretty big deal. At this moment in the USA, most youth soccer clubs operate under the pay-to-play system. Pay-to-play is when families must pay fees to participate in club or travel soccer teams. These fees may include covering the cost of club registration, travel, equipment, and coaching. For example, if you're the next Messi and make your local travel soccer team but can't afford to pay the fees, you will not be able to participate and play with the team, even if you're the next Messi. Soccer youth clubs can typically cost families thousands of dollars a year. For example, some soccer clubs in California have a sticker price ranging from $1,000 to $10,000 a year. As you can see, these high costs are a financial barrier for families in lower socioeconomic backgrounds. It can be said that these restrictions are what's limiting the talent pool in the USA, thus also affecting the growth and popularity of soccer. We also haven't taken into account the shortage of proper soccer coaches in the USA. After the 2020 COVID pandemic, there are fewer coaches wanting to volunteer due to a lack of support, unpaid coaching roles, both parental club pressure and expectations. This decline in coach participation is further impacting the quality of coaching and the availability of coaching opportunities, thus affecting soccer players on all socioeconomic levels. And even if you decide to be a player who doesn't play on a team, you might run into problems if you try to play soccer in your own free time. For example, some soccer fields are restricted access. These restricted fields are usually reserved for your local high school soccer team or your local traveling soccer club. They restrict these fields to keep them clean for game day. The problem is when these restricted fields are the only proper soccer pitches in your neighborhood. So if you're a young soccer player who doesn't have a car, a license, or transportation, odds are you won't be playing soccer anytime soon. Also, soccer here in my city of Chicago is traditionally played during the spring and autumn seasons. For some reason, there is no official summer season, and in the winter, there is no soccer season. The cold, windy, and snowy weather has an impact on all the soccer players' ability to play outdoors. Although there are some indoor soccer facilities in Chicago, you aren't allowed to play or even step foot on the pitch if you don't rent a field. In the United States of America, the typical field rental price ranges from $100 to $600 per hour, depending on the field size, location, and time of day. The federal minimum wage in the USA right now in 2025 is $7.25 per hour. You'll have to sell an arm and a leg trying to afford paying those ridiculous rental prices. Imagine how frustrating it must be as a young soccer player with no money wanting to improve your game. Lastly, we can't forget that soccer is a team sport. A lot of new players are attracted to soccer because they want to make new friends and connections. The more serious soccer players want to improve and become better soccer players. The best way to improve at soccer is to put yourself in live game situations. Soccer requires a minimum of 4 to 6 players to get a proper game of soccer started. Although you can see improvement practicing on your own, you will see the most improvement when you have an opponent applying defensive and offensive pressure on you. Unfortunately, soccer will have a lot of wasted talent and potential in the USA if we continue to have these youth access issues. The third and final reason why the United States hates soccer is because the sport isn't ingrained in American culture. One of the reasons for this could be because there's little exposure to the sport, especially at the youth level. I know that we just touched base about youth access issues just now, but it gets deeper than this. Between the ages of 3 to 16 is when we are at our most influential ages. What I mean by this is that a lot of our interests, habits, and personalities are shaped during these ages. Our mind is like a computer that can be programmed, and our programming will depend on circumstances like surroundings, beliefs, and culture. The youth here in the USA is greatly influenced by the things they watch on TV and social media. It was during the 1950s when the television replaced the radio and took over home entertainment across the United States of America. Fast forward to 2025, 75 years later, the stuff that we watch on TV is having a massive influence on American culture. Thanks to the television, families didn't have to travel and spend hundreds of dollars to watch their favorite team play their respective sport. Now you can watch the game as a nice family activity from the comfort of your own home. But it's very apparent that soccer has had minimal television exposure in the USA. The United States has 5 major sports leagues: the NFL for football, NBA for basketball, MLB for baseball, NHL for hockey, and the forgotten MLS for soccer. Sports that belong to what they call the Big Four leagues are televised on the 4 largest U.S. broadcast TV networks, those being ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox. The NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL are the ones who belong in the Big Four leagues and enjoy strong TV viewer ratings. All of the sports in the Big Four leagues have also had television contracts with at least one of the original Big 3 US broadcast TV networks since the network's early years. Thanks to this, sports like American football, baseball, basketball, and hockey have had more of a widespread appeal over time in the USA compared to soccer. This is a big reason why these sports are more ingrained in American culture. Not only that, but the MLS is also the youngest major sports league in the USA. The MLB was founded in 1903, NHL in 1917, NFL in 1920, NBA in 1946, and lastly, the MLS, which was founded in 1993. That's barely more than 25 years of exposure to the American people compared to the other sports that have more than 50 years of exposure. I remember growing up with basic cable and TV antennas. I never once saw an MLS game being broadcasted on any of the channels, not even a commercial promoting the local Chicago soccer team. What I do remember seeing is other sports like American football, hockey, basketball, and even WWE wrestling being promoted. I even remember when the Chicago White Sox won the Baseball World Series in 2006, but never once stumbled upon something MLS related on TV. What is interesting is that I do remember watching soccer or football in the Spanish channels like Univision and Telemundo. The reason I think this is interesting is because there is a big portion of the US population that isn't just American. The United States is known for being a melting pot of cultures. I myself am a Mexican American, so I know how popular football is in Mexican culture. Soccer is also loved by Polish Americans, Asian Americans, European Americans, African Americans, and South American communities. I believe it is these communities that are keeping the game of soccer alive in the United States, or at least showing some interest in the game. As I touched base before, Americans crave high-octane excitement. A lot of the excitement in soccer is found in winning and scoring goals. And if we talk about the USA men's national soccer team, they aren't well known for scoring goals or winning games. It might be this lack of national pride and success in soccer that also contributes to the lack of interest in the game. One of the most renowned soccer tournaments or soccer events is the World Cup that is internationally organized every 4 years ever since 1930. It was actually during the first FIFA World Cup where the USA men's soccer team also made their first appearance. This team was also able to place third in the tournament, making it the best result the USA men's soccer team ever had in all of the World Cups. In total, the USA has appeared in 11 World Cups. But after the first World Cup, the USA men's soccer team played in 2 more World Cups up until the 1950 World Cup. After 1950, the USA men's soccer team did not qualify for another World Cup tournament until the 1990 World Cup. From then on, the USA team has qualified for every World Cup until 2014. It was during the 2018 World Cup where they weren't able to qualify to play in the tournament. During the 2022 World Cup, the USA men's soccer team was able to redeem themselves by qualifying to play in the tournament. Sadly, they would end up being eliminated at the round of 16 by the Netherlands. Now, we fast forward to 2025, and the USA is scheduled to host the 2026 World Cup along with Mexico and Canada. I don't know about you, my fellow Americans, but when I look around, it seems to me that Americans aren't too excited about being a co-host of the 2026 World Cup. We are officially 1 year away from hosting this huge event, and I haven't seen any promotions for the World Cup. And if you haven't heard, President Donald Trump's recent Big Beautiful Bill was signed and passed. This bill will be affecting a lot of Americans and will also be affecting the 2026 World Cup. The United States will now be setting aside over $170 billion to support Trump's immigration enforcement, ICE. As I stated earlier, the United States is known as a melting pot of cultures because we have a lot of immigrants and foreigners. It's these foreigners who are also huge fans of soccer, so it makes sense that some of these foreigners will want to attend the World Cup games. But there are rumors circulating that ICE will be present at the World Cup to detain and deport any illegals who attend the World Cup games. Thanks to this, soccer fans have been making an uproar, saying that having ICE present at the World Cup threatening to deport soccer fans is a crime against humanity and that the USA doesn't deserve to host the World Cup. Some people are even going as far as saying to boycott the entire event from the USA. When you think about it, Americans already don't like soccer, so you can expect a low attendance from them. The only group of people I can see wanting to attend the World Cup are foreigners who come to support their national team. But with stricter immigration laws, the threat of potentially being deported, and high political tension, nobody from outside the USA will want to travel into this country. This of course will affect ticket sales for the World Cup and the potential exposure soccer would have had on this country. And if the United States continues to follow this trend, soccer will keep on struggling to ingrain itself in American culture. I believe that soccer is going to take another 25 to 50 years until it starts to make an appeal in American culture. I want to make it clear that I don't hate soccer, but I also don't love the sport. Growing up, I didn't start playing sports until the 7th grade in middle school. My first sport that I played was soccer, but I stopped playing soccer the following year right before high school. When I think back, I wasn't actually interested in soccer. I wasn't even having fun playing it. I felt it was boring and unexciting. The reason I had a slight interest in soccer was because of a legendary Brazilian soccer player, Ronaldinho. Although I liked the way Ronaldinho played soccer, I felt more excited watching him juggle a ball and showing off his skills and tricks. At the time, I was confused. I joined a soccer team in hopes to be like Ronaldinho. I really wanted to learn his skills and tricks. Instead, they will make us run a lot and do different soccer drills that had nothing to do with what I wanted to learn. My younger self didn't like this, which is why I stopped playing soccer. Fast forward to 2012, I discovered the freestyle soccer community through YouTube videos. When I saw that there were other people doing tricks like Ronaldinho, I felt excited again. As a matter of fact, I felt so excited that I started my freestyle football journey that summer of 2012. I say all of this because I believe freestyle soccer will be more popular than traditional soccer in the USA. Freestyle soccer is more exciting to play and exciting to watch. Unlike traditional soccer players who just run around, kick and pass the ball, the culture of freestyle football is different. Ever since the beginning, freestyle has been about pushing limits and doing the most impossible tricks. While soccer is often referred to as a game, freestyle soccer isn't just a game. Freestyle soccer is a battle every time we step into a cipher. And in these battles, we show our craziest, most difficult skills and tricks. It's this battle attitude, constant action, and element of surprise that makes freestyle soccer more appealing and exciting than traditional soccer. Freestyle football is also more exciting than soccer because it's a brand new sport, which means a lot of opportunities for newcomers to participate and make a name for themselves. Also, freestyle football doesn't require a lot of equipment, doesn't make you pay to play, or charge you ridiculous field rental prices like traditional soccer. To practice freestyle, all you need is a ball. The brand and price of the ball doesn't matter. Once you have a ball, you can literally practice freestyle anywhere. You can practice freestyle at a park, an open space, or even your backyard. You even have free freestyle football tutorials on my channel and on YouTube if you really needed a coach or some tips to improve. Lastly, even though traditional soccer is older and probably more ingrained in American culture, there's one thing that I know about my fellow Americans, and it's that we value freedom. The United States is called the land of the free and home of the brave for a reason, and there is no sport or art form that will make you feel more free or give you a sense of freedom like freestyle soccer. Freestyle literally has the word free in it. Thanks to freestyle, we are freeing ourselves from the impossible. So I don't see why freestyle football wouldn't grow to be a popular sport in the USA. Truthfully, if we were to compare freestyle soccer to a plant, freestyle will still be a seed or the roots of the plant because freestyle is still an underground sport. I have to say that I do respect the roots of freestyle soccer. I respect Ronaldinho, Joga Bonito, and all the first generation freestylers who made freestyle soccer what it is today. After all, the roots are the foundation of a plant, helping the plant stand tall and straight. But freestyle is constantly under the shadow of traditional soccer, which is like a big tree. Whenever people see freestyle, they always confuse us for being soccer players. And it's not helping us that a lot of freestylers put on shows and spectacles for soccer clubs and other soccer companies to help promote and market the sport of soccer. Although this is good for the sport of soccer, we should be encouraging more people to practice freestyle soccer. There's already more than 1 billion traditional soccer players worldwide. Freestyle soccer only has a few thousand. If freestyle continues to work with soccer clubs and teams, freestyle soccer will end up as a mere soccer sideshow or a circus act. There's already little glory in freestyle soccer. If we keep encouraging people to practice other sports, the amount of active soccer freestylers will keep on shrinking until there are none left. I would hate to see freestyle soccer being overshadowed by a sport like traditional soccer. Freestyle soccer is at a point where it can grow up and become far bigger, more exciting and fun than regular soccer. All of us freestylers have pushed freestyle to a point where it has its own identity, an identity that should no longer be confused with traditional soccer. Alright freestyle fam, thank you for sticking around until the end of this video. I know it was a long one, so if you guys can please give this video a like or a dislike, and please let me know in the comments below, what do you think the future of soccer in the USA is gonna be like? What's your personal experience, story, and relationship with soccer? What do you guys think is the reason why the USA hates soccer? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks again freestyle fam, I'll catch y'all in the next video. Deuces.